Imagine a city split in two. A concrete wall, towering and cold, cuts through its heart. This was Berlin, Germany, for almost 30 years. Families were torn apart. Friendships were severed. The Berlin Wall became a symbol of division and oppression. Why was such a barrier built? What led to the creation of this formidable structure that divided a city and symbolized a world torn apart by ideological differences? The answer lies in the aftermath of World War II. The war had left Europe in ruins, and Berlin, the capital of Germany, was a focal point of this devastation. The city was divided into 4 sectors, each controlled by one of the Allied powers: the United States, the Soviet Union, the United Kingdom, and France. As the dust settled, a new conflict began to emerge: the Cold War. This was not a war fought with guns and tanks, but with ideas, propaganda, and political maneuvering. The Cold War was a battle for influence and control, and Berlin was right at its heart. The world was divided between 2 superpowers, the United States and the Soviet Union. These 2 nations had emerged from World War II as the most powerful countries on Earth, but they had very different visions for the future. They had very different ideas about how to run a country. The United States believed in capitalism, where businesses and individuals had the freedom to operate and compete in a market economy. The Soviet Union, on the other hand, believed in communism, where the state controlled all aspects of the economy and society. Cold War historian, the Soviet Union believed in communism and control. They promoted a system where the government had total authority over the economy and people's lives. This was seen as a way to ensure equality and prevent the excesses of capitalism. While the United States championed democracy and freedom, they believed in a system where individuals had the right to choose their leaders, express their opinions, and pursue their own economic interests. These opposing ideologies created a tense atmosphere of suspicion and mistrust. Each side viewed the other as a threat to their way of life and their global influence. This tension was felt most acutely in Berlin, where the 2 ideologies literally came face to face. The Berlin Wall was built to prevent the mass exodus of East Germans to the West, a physical manifestation of the Iron Curtain that had descended across Europe. This was the Cold War. It was a war of ideas, not fought with guns and bombs, but with words, spies, and political maneuvering. Germany, defeated in World War II, became a focal point of this ideological struggle. It was divided into 2 countries: East Germany, controlled by the Soviet Union, and West Germany, allied with the United States. West German citizen Berlin, though located deep within East Germany, was also split, with West Berlin becoming an island of freedom within communist territory. Section 5. Building the Wall. The Berlin Wall stands as one of the most iconic symbols of the Cold War, representing the stark divide between East and West, communism and democracy. As the years passed, more and more East Germans, seeking freedom and opportunity, fled to the West through Berlin. This exodus was not just a trickle, but a flood, with thousands risking their lives to escape the oppressive regime of East Germany. Families were torn apart, and the East German government grew increasingly desperate to stop the flow.
This brain drain worried the East German government and its Soviet allies. The loss of skilled workers, intellectuals, and professionals was not just an economic issue, but a significant blow to the credibility and stability of the communist regime. The East German leadership, under pressure from Moscow, knew they had to act swiftly to prevent further erosion of their society. They feared losing their workforce and their grip on power. Meetings were held in secret, and plans were drawn up to create a physical barrier that would stem the tide of emigration. The Soviet Union, keen to maintain its influence in Eastern Europe, supported these drastic measures, seeing the wall as a necessary evil to preserve their ideological stronghold.
On August 13, 1961, they took drastic action, sealing the border and erecting the Berlin Wall, trapping millions behind its concrete curtain. The construction began in the dead of night, with soldiers and workers swiftly moving to divide the city. Barbed wire and concrete blocks were just the beginning. Over the years, the wall would evolve into a formidable barrier, complete with guard towers, searchlights, and a death strip designed to prevent any escape attempts. The Berlin Wall not only divided a city, but also became a powerful symbol of the ideological battle that defined the Cold War era. Section 6. The World Reacts. The world watched in shock as barbed wire and then concrete divided a city overnight.
The Berlin Wall became a stark symbol of the Cold War, a physical manifestation of the ideological Iron Curtain that had descended across Europe.
Section 7. Life on a divided street. Life in Berlin was forever changed.
Families and friends were separated, their lives unfolding on opposite sides of the wall.
East Berliners faced constant surveillance and limited opportunities.
West Berliners lived with the constant reminder of the wall's oppressive presence.
Section 8. Escaping to freedom.
Despite the risks, many East Germans dared to escape. They dug tunnels, climbed over fences, and even flew hot air balloons to reach freedom in the West. These daring escapes were often met with brutal force. Many were caught and imprisoned. Some were even shot and killed trying to cross the wall.
Section 9. The Iron Grip.
Life in East Germany was harsh. The communist government controlled every aspect of life, from work to education to the media. People had limited freedoms. They could not speak their minds freely or criticize the government. The Stasi, the East German secret police, were everywhere, watching and listening, instilling fear in the population.
Section 10. Cracks in the wall.
In the late 1980s, the Soviet Union, facing economic stagnation and political unrest, began to change. Mikhail Gorbachev, the new Soviet leader, introduced reforms like Glasnost, meaning openness, and Perestroika, meaning restructuring. These changes had a ripple effect throughout the Soviet bloc, weakening the grip of communist control.
Inspired by these changes and fueled by a desire for freedom, East Germans took to the streets in peaceful protests. They demanded the right to travel freely, to speak their minds, and to have a say in their own government. On November 9, 1989, under pressure from both within and outside East Germany, the Berlin Wall fell.
The fall of the Berlin Wall was a pivotal moment in history. It marked the end of the Cold War and the beginning of a new era. Germany was reunited after decades of division. The Iron Curtain that had divided Europe for so long began to crumble. Democracy and freedom began to spread throughout Eastern Europe. Today, only fragments of the Berlin Wall remain, preserved as a reminder of a divided past. Memorials and museums stand as testaments to the human cost of division and the importance of freedom.
The East Side Gallery, a stretch of the wall transformed into an open-air art gallery, showcases colorful murals celebrating freedom and peace.
The Berlin Wall stands as a powerful symbol of the human desire for freedom. Erected in 1961, it divided families, friends, and a nation. It was a physical manifestation of the ideological divide between the East and the West during the Cold War. The wall was not just concrete and barbed wire, it was a barrier to dreams, aspirations, and the basic human right to choose one's destiny, and the lengths to which people will go to achieve it. Many risked their lives attempting to cross it, using ingenious methods like tunnels, hot air balloons, and even makeshift zip lines. These brave souls remind us of the indomitable human spirit and the relentless pursuit of freedom, no matter the cost. It reminds us that freedom is not free. The sacrifices made by those who sought to escape, and those who protested against the wall's existence, are a testament to the high price of liberty. Their stories are etched into the annals of history, serving as a poignant reminder of the value of freedom. It is something that must be constantly defended and cherished. The preservation of parts of the Berlin Wall today serves as a historical monument, reminding future generations of the importance of vigilance in safeguarding freedom. It stands as a testament to the resilience of the human spirit and the enduring quest for liberty.
The fall of the wall teaches us that even in the darkest of times, hope can prevail. The jubilant scenes of people from both sides coming together, celebrating and tearing down the wall brick by brick, are a powerful testament to the triumph of hope over despair. It shows that no matter how insurmountable the barriers may seem, they can be overcome with collective will and determination, and walls can be torn down. The demolition of the Berlin Wall was not just the destruction of a physical barrier, but the dismantling of an era of division and oppression. It marked the beginning of a new chapter of unity and freedom, a chapter that continues to inspire and remind us of the enduring power of hope and the unyielding quest for freedom.